What's up, guys? I wanted to take some time in this video to talk with you all about the never-ending cycle of legislative actions and things, as well as executive orders and things like that, against our Second Amendment rights. What tends to happen, as most of you all know, there will be some type of a court ruling that blocks some type of unconstitutional act by an administrator, an executive, a governor, or even a body of legislature. But for that to happen, in many cases, it takes years for those to get their way through the court system. And then once they do finally get to the court system, another little tweak, and we're right back to square one. That is a problem. If many of you all would look into the history of how long the Washington, D.C. gun ban that was overturned by the Heller case was, you would see that for decades, people were denied their rights. And we see that in a lot of these other states as well. We see when governors and things like that will pass crazy laws, through executive action that's basically illegal. And then it takes a very long time for them to get through the courts. And then they tweak it, a little bit of a change, and so on. That was never intended to be the way things should work in this country. There's never any accountability for any of these people that do these kind of illegal acts. And it is insane that we keep finding ourselves in the same vicious cycle. We all know about the bump stock ban, supposed bump stock ban and all that, and how many years ago that was done by Trump. And it is still going through the court system. There's never any accountability, and there is never anyone to basically say enough is enough. The judges keep kicking it down the road because there's very few of them that really want to take the stand that they should. And a lot of it has to do with political cowardice. A lot of it across the board, a lot of the reasons that we have a lot of the nonsense within our government, some of these rules, these crazy laws that we do, is because of political cowardice. No one is willing to stand up anymore. No one is willing to be a statesman anymore. And that is why we need to get rid of some of these career politicians and get real Americans in the government. We're coming up on an election year. And I've talked about it before in other videos, but this is exactly why we have got to get involved and stay involved with our political process. Typically, when I do videos about politics, they do not get a lot of views. But at the same time, this is a channel that is focused on preserving our rights, being a benefit to people, to give them some knowledge on just various things, how to get through daily life in many cases, how to survive, how to prepare for adverse events. And the thing is, and the reality is, if we do not get involved, then we are going to find ourselves going the same way as a lot of other countries throughout history. Okay, that is basically the undeniable fact of history. Those that do not study the mistakes of history are doomed to repeat it. We must be involved in our political process. We need to find out the candidates, where they stand on the issues. Your politician, your local representatives need to know who you are. You need to be willing to call them out when they do things that are wrong. You need to be calling them out when they are not doing the things that they should. That's why that we have such an absolute mess. Now, one of the most recent examples to people getting a wake-up call to some of this is going to be up in New York. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of folks in New York that are now out protesting because of all of the illegal immigrants that are being bussed into their areas. Okay, we see it. We've seen it in the news. Some news is making just light mentions of it, but I would highly suggest that you look that up. I'm not going to pull up any articles or anything on it now because there's just too much going on right now. But look that up and see. Now, the thing is, for the longest time, these people have sat back and they have just basically rubber stamped whatever the political agenda was, whatever the media told them. And these people have been put into office that are up there that have made these decisions that have flooded this country with illegal immigrants that have basically taken over in many ways, in many places. And they're being told by those representatives that they voted for that they're just going to have to suck it up. And I think that that's a little bit of a poetic justice. Okay. And hopefully, if anything comes from it, they will wake up to that. But across the board, whether it is our Second Amendment rights, whether it is our right to freedom of speech or anything else, the billions of dollars that is being sent overseas to some of these countries to fund foreign wars, all of this nonsense. Well, we have people in this country, we have homeless veterans in the streets, we have people that have nothing to eat. Literally that song, Rich Man North of Richmond. I think that is basically a reckoning for a lot of folks, because that song struck home for so many. And a lot of that is simply because we do not get involved in the political process. You want to make sure that there is accountability when these people go out and declare unconstitutional laws, then we've got to be involved. You want to make sure that they don't, in the first place, try to do some of this stuff, then we've got to be involved. Guns are a political topic. Everything that we do in this life is a political topic. Okay? Your right to get up and go to your church, no one thought that would ever be questioned until COVID hit. And look what a lot of these governors did. They locked down the states and everything else. You had a few folks, they wouldn't fall in for it. They wasn't going to give in for it. And those that resisted, they tried to do everything that they could to shut them down. But that didn't work. Another reason for us to be involved is we also seen where these governors, these legislatures and things like that would use the police force in many of these places as their own personal Gestapo. We seen up in New York, up there, where people were literally had their businesses shut down. The same cops that followed orders without question would shut down people's businesses, while at the same time would protect these riders when they broke the law. We're seeing that more and more. We're seeing in New York right now also. We are seeing protesters who are protesting the flood of illegals that are coming into their area being arrested, while at the same time the police are protecting those that are here illegally. This is the kind of political anarchy that is going to rip this country to shreds. People have got to pay attention. If we don't pay attention, we are going to go the same way that all of these other countries in the past have gone. It is up to us to step up, to get involved in the political process, learn who your representatives are. That's the reality there, folks. Most people, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys out there watching this video, some of you may or may not know who your representatives are. It's time to get involved, because if we don't, then there is no hope for this country. That's all there is to it, guys. This is a country that was founded on the people making the decisions for themselves. This is a country that if the people refuse to make those decisions and let the people know in the halls of government what they want done, then this is a country that's also going to fall, just like the rest of them throughout history. But guys, just a little bit of a rambling video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Love to hear from you. Check out all the links down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.